Hello, good evening. Welcome to the couch. My name is Ama Pratt. It's a Thursday, so definitely today we bring you the concluding part of last week's Hard Talk edition of the show. Now, last week we discussed the State of the Nation's address as presented to Parliament by His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana. We did not actually get to analyze the document that he presented. We just went around it. So we spoke about issues like the boycott by the NDC. We spoke about something like what happened in the foyer of Parliament, and also the Speaker's rather strange call, I find, to journalists, in essence, trying to direct our editorial policies and what we decide to cover in and around Parliament. These were the issues that we discussed last week. I did that with Mujeeb Rahman. I did that with the Honourable MP for Mion constituency, the Honourable Aziz. And we also were here with Mr. Edger Wiredu. Today is the concluding part of that conversation. Today, we would start off by looking at the GeTFund, brouhaha, all the issues that are happening within the GeTFund establishment before we get into the sauna. So another packed edition of the show. And I hope you are watching this. Let me quickly say this. I watch TV all the time, but over the weekend, I got to actually watch a TV set that I got from Electroland Ghana Limited. And I had a rather different viewing experience, and so I recommend it highly. Saying this, I would also say hello to you, Noah, boss at Electroland Ghana Limited. Hello. We will take a quick commercial break at this point. So when we come back, I introduce my guest, and then we start the conversation. Stay with us.
It's incredible! Bang on target!
Hello, welcome back to the show. This is the couch. My name is Ama Pratt. Let me quickly introduce my guest. I have with me, seated, looking very handsome, I must say, this evening, Mr. Edger Wiredu. Hello, sir.
Hello, Edgar. I'm not too much involved in this formal things, sir, boss, and all that.
I mean, you've ended with a great,
grey
beard.
I
have to accord the grey beard.
No, I love my name.
Needed respect.
I love my name. Feel free with my name.
Yeah, welcome. It's great to see you again.
Thank you, my dear. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good.
Also, we have here Mr. Mujeeb Rahman, MPP communicator. Welcome.
Thank you.
You're also looking really, really nice. I like the socks.
Thank you.
I wouldn't go the way my uncle, so I think it's okay.
Yes. I like it. I really like it. Okay. Let's talk GeTFund. Let's talk GeTFund.
Yeah.
Now, for me, the issues are a lot.
Yeah.
My most important issue when it comes to all of this GeTFund issue is the mandate of the GeTFund. That's what I'm concerned about.
Yeah.
What is their mandate?
Yeah.
Have they stepped outside of their mandate? If they have strayed a little from their mandate, how far?
Yeah.
How far off? Are there explanations as to why this is happening? That for me is the main issue.
Yeah.
Then subsequently, this issue of greed. We were having this conversation earlier. In how some of our big shots have chosen to, for want of a better expression, exercise their privilege.
Yes.
That's how so for me these are the main issues that come to the fore with this GeTFund issue? Mr. Edger Wiredu.
Well, thank you, and then good evening to viewers, of course. You have said good evening to you. My brother, I said good evening to him in the corner. So, yes, actually, the GeTFund issue, I think, honestly, I am surprised. I'm surprised at the angles and the kind of things I hear, and even from the ministry and then the GeTFund itself. I don't know why, politics, there's something really wrong in this country. Something really wrong. The facts are very clear, and you're trying to use all kind of gymnastics, using all kinds of vocabularies, grammar, somersaulting it in a way to justify something that is actually wrong. But one of the problems we also have is the fact that structures are not working well in this country, because if the systems were working well, how do you say that for a period of about 6 years no audit has taken place? If the structures were properly set out and the systems were in place, at the end of every year audits must take place.
Yeah.
You see? And if these things were done at the right time, we would not have reached where we are today. And all kinds of problems and undeserving things are coming out. You see? I think that, the GeTFund guys, they just messed up.
That's the Secretariat.
Yes, the Secretariat, they messed up. You see, the beneficiaries, I don't have a problem with the beneficiaries. If the structures were followed, the beneficiaries would not have gotten what they got. Because as for an individual who needs any assistance or what have you, he would always apply to any body.
Of course.
Yeah, you'd always apply. So if how do you call it, you have all kinds of letters going to the Jubilee House, and then whoever is there will say, well, we don't think this one is supposed to be here. You direct it to wherever you think it's got to be. So it is in every establishment. So Pan-Africa says there, they think they have their CSR. So when you come, they say, well, unfortunately, our CSR, these things do not fall within our CSR. We have decided that we probably want to be doing community water, or our CSR is to drill boreholes for deprived communities. So if anybody walks through and says, oh, he needs some scholarships, say, please, that does not fall within our domain. Yeah, it's as simple. So as for the beneficiaries, they don't have a problem. They are applying. You get it? It's for you to tell them that by our mandate, we cannot do X.
So let's look at the mandates of the GeTFund. Let's look at their mandate. And here, I underline something. Okay. So their mission is to support the delivery of quality education to the citizens of Ghana from the basic to tertiary level through dynamic funding policies aimed at ensuring equitable provision of essential resources for all levels of education to all segments of the Ghanaian population. I think the part that has most Ghanaians up in arms is this one, is the B, the 2B. It says to provide supplementary funding to the Scholarship Secretariat for the grant of scholarships of gifted but needy students for studies in the second cycle in accredited tertiary institutions in Ghana. Now, this seems pretty clear-cut. However, if you look at the distribution formula, here I would look at just a few policy statements of government's requirements, for some key areas of national interest that it should take into account. Here it says the promotion of the study of mathematics, science and technology, the advancement of female education, reduction in the high level of deficiencies in some disadvantaged areas of the economy, promotion of computer, vocational, technical education, to mention but a few. You know, there are others, but these are the ones I thought were interesting. So, I mean, gray areas, don't you think?
They are not gray. They are very specific. It says provide monies to the scholarship secretariat. They didn't say you should distribute the scholarship. Yours is provide monies to scholarship secretariat, and let scholarship secretariat go by their own ways of determining who gets what and who does not get what, and what quantum is available for XYZ.
Okay, so let me read something here. It says, in a long response to the Auditor General, GeTFund discredited many of the assertions in the report, indicating, among other things, that the claim that it had discontinued scholarship funding to the Scholarship Secretariat since 2008 is false.
That is a different matter. Whether they have discontinued or not, the mandates that they have, there is nowhere in the mandate that says GeTFund should distribute scholarship. That is what we're saying, that GeTFund as a body, the law setting up GeTFund, the Act 581, there's nowhere in that act that says GeTFund should give out scholarships. All the law says is that give money to scholarship secretariats.
I have another one for you. It says GeTFund added that it did not receive a request for the release of funds from the Scholarship Secretariat until 2017.
You see, the law says give money to them. Why should you wait for the request? The law says that 2.5% of whatever is given to you. Are you suggesting that you have to request the monies from Ministry of Finance? From what they are saying, the law says 2.5% of whatever should go to GeTFund. From what they are also saying, are they saying that they should sit down or they should request before the money comes to them? If you are saying, because the law says give monies to these people, why do you say that they should request for it?
Mujeeb, I'm sorry that I'm saying a little too late, but I'll come to you in a minute. Can you just admit that this is a clear indication of failures on all sides?
Failures on which side?
On all sides. There's
no side.
Can we say that it's just clear? It's a clear sign of how we handle everything else.
You see, so you are sitting down.
As a people.
You are sitting down, and at the end of the month, the employer has to pay you. So you sit down and say, the month is due, so let me write to the controller and accountant general that where is my pay? It doesn't make sense. You have monies that have been given to you through whatever deductions or taxes or whatever that every Ghanaian is paying. Every single item that you buy in this country, a percentage is taken off it. And the law says, when you get your money, give a portion to scholarship secretariats and let them say, it says provide funding or supplementary funding. So based on your arithmetic, whether you say, okay, out of the total figure we get, maybe we'll give 5% to scholarship secretariats as supplementary funding for their activities. Are you saying that they should come and request before you give them the money? The law does not say so, right? Now, one of the things that you are also talking about, you talk about the issue of foreign students and what have you. It is nowhere in the law that says give monies out to people. Even the law says that when you talk about people who are going to do research activities, faculty members and whatever, the law says give the money through the council for whatever. Give the money to them. It is not for you to sit in your office and disburse it. The law says give the money to that body. So it is that body that will determine how it will do its job. It is not for you to call the individuals and start giving them money. It is wrong. You see, it is wrong. So if you go inside and then you are saying that you are talking about you having a certain authority. You don't have that authority. You don't have that authority. And what is even bizarre is the fact that the act has provided in specific terms. You see, when a law is brought into being, there are certain words that the law would interpret. If the law has not interpreted those words, then you look for the meaning of those words in the dictionary. Then you use it to understand what it says. But so far as the law has provided meanings to those things, you are talking about educational activities. The law is very clear that those things, you must get the approval from the minister. So if there hasn't been an approval from the minister, you can do as you like. You see, it is very clear. It says that you are going to support educational activities, but it requires the approval of the minister and the board. So if there's no approval from the minister and the board, you can't do as you like. It is not for you to determine that you think this is okay, so I'm going to do it. No.
It can't work like that.
That's what I'm saying. Let's follow the law. Because you see, the funny thing is that you are the same person quoting the law.
I mean, in Mr. Garba's, defense, and I read that somewhere. I wonder if I can find it quickly. He says that, I mean, this is how things have always been done.
That's Gaba.
This is how
former administrator.
Yes, this is how.
He served between 2012 and 20. That's Mr. Gariba.
Yes. Gaba. It's Gaba.
Oh, so there's a person. Okay, but it says here that he was only following the existing procedure
That is
in awarding scholarship upon the assumption of office.
Yes, he was
Only following procedure.
And that procedure.
Before he came.
So you see, a wrong thing was being done, and he came to continue the wrong thing. That is what we're saying. The law does not say GeTFund must give out scholarship. The law says give money to scholarship secretariats. It didn't say GeTFund should administer scholarship. So if that is what was happening, and then he came to meet and he continued, the fact is that the fundamentals are wrong.
But that's a serious issue.
The fundamental is just like someone says that
implementation of laws.
But the right thing has been set aside, and then you are doing your own thing. So a wrong has been perpetuated, and has become to look like as if it is a right. No, go to the basics. What does the law say? The law says give money to scholarship secretariat. That's all. It did not say you should administer it. So yes, Mr. Gaba is saying that he came to follow that same procedure. So whoever started that procedure messed it up, and it has continued. And that is what we're saying. No, it shouldn't have been. And it's as simple as that. So all the scholarships that has been given, those who have gone to study outside the country, all those who are doing whatever it is, GeTFund did not have any business doing that. If anything at all, is the scholarship secretariat that should have done all those things, and not GeTFund. You see what your mandates are very clear.
But I like the caveat you gave before. You can't blame the students for that.
I think that
you can't blame them. They have applied.
It's very, very
okay. Your duty was to tell them that, please, my office, we don't do XYZ. However, you can go to scholarship secretariat. We have made monies available to them. That is all you have to do. But you don't sit there and administer the thing.
Why I want you to come in it's the interesting, very colorful names that have come up. And being an MPP communicator, that's why I want you to address this.
But I want also to even run away from that and
I won't let you run away.
And also talk about what Mr. Eddie...
I will not allow you to run away. Unfortunately for you, allow me to be mean today. I won't let you run away from that.
But I just... I want to comment small on what Mr. Edgar has said, but I think that I was just looking at the act, and it is true if you look at the objectives of the fund. It is true the law is saying provide money, resources to scholarship secretariat for onward disbursement to brilliant but needy students. But sometimes, Ama, you know, your lawyers with your interpretations. Because this one, you look at it ordinarily and you can interpret it, but the appropriate place to seek for the right interpretation of the law as it's being put in the act, is the GeTFund Act, is to go to court. The court will look at it, whether they will use the literal interpretation or the mischief interpretation or the golden rule.
The golden rule.
All these things are there. So for us, if you just want to take it through like what is being put in the act, it may to some extent be like misleading. Because I said this because, you know, when this thing was funded under Rawley's time, I think the GeTFund was created under Rawley's time when Spio Gabra was the Minister of Education. That was the time education issues were very strong in this country. You remember the fee paying, full fee paying, University of Ghana. I remember vividly when I was young, the current majority leader, Harun Idrisu, I think he was the student leader in Legon at that time, and other universities, Cape Coast and Tech, said no, they won't agree. So I vividly could remember those times, and government at a point said no, something has to be done to complement the effort of government directly. And I think that was the reason why the Ghana Education Trust Fund was established. And I think it has helped a lot in terms of providing infrastructure and other assistance to our education institutions in this country. But I would also I want to leave it to the lawyers. We are still learning, but we haven't reached there. But to look at it, if it were wrong, even like, I think, I can't remember who was the administrator under Spio, when Spio was the minister, but I remember when President Kufuor took over, it was Mr. Banahene. If you go to the, Foso Banahene was the administrator, and I can remember, even that time, GeTFund used to give out scholarship to students at that time. So, and I think it was after Kufuor left, MPP lost power, Mills came, and then Sam Garba was also appointed. And I would not want to fault him because of what he said. Yes. That what he said is true. So, but in conclusion, we need to go. I think it's something you and I can take. We can go to Supreme Court for interpretation of the act and put this in the right perspective. Well, and I think that is.
Let me just help you out.
Why are you laughing at that?
No, but for what is in the act.
Why are you laughing at that?
But when you look at it, even apart from that one, if you go to the second, the last one, it is. How are you going to interpret it?
I'll interpret it for you very clearly.
No.
Because if it's explicitly.
It's stated there clearly, so I don't see why you should.
No, because
I'm coming.
There are follow-ups. You see, that's what I'm saying.
There are follow-ups. Yeah, there are follow-ups.
There are follow-ups after that.
The objectives of the fund. One, the objective of the fund is to provide finance to supplement the provision of the education at all levels by government. For the purposes of attaining this objective, the monies from the fund are to be expended as follows. A, to provide financial support to the agencies and institutions under the Ministry of Education through the ministry for the development and maintenance of essential academic facilities and infrastructure in public educational institutions, particularly in tertiary institutions. B, to provide supplementary funding to the scholarship secretariat for the grant of scholarship of gifted but needy students for studies in the second cycle and accredited the tertiary institutions in Ghana. C, my dear, to contribute monies from the fund towards the operation of students' loan scheme for students in accredited tertiary institutions through loan scheme mechanisms and agencies approved by the minister. D, to provide through the National Council of Tertiary Education grants to tertiary institutions. I, to train brilliant students as members of faculties. II, to undertake research and other academic programs of relevance and national
development.
So, go to the I. If you say to train brilliant students as members of faculty. So, Mr. Edgar,
and that is the point. So just let me explain to you. So let me explain to you. You see, that is why I'm saying that when you are looking at these things, right? It says provide the money through the National Council. It is not for you to disburse. It says provide the money through the National Council. So yours is to give the money to the National Council. It is not you who would decide who you give money to or who you not give money to. It's very simple English. You don't need any somebody to come and explain this very simple.
I'm coming.
No, but
I think I have to say this. When it comes to interpretations of statutes and constitutions, that one is preserved to the law courts. Because you can read it as a layman, look at it in the media, but you take it, it's different.
Fine. And I'm saying that.
And a lot of factors are put into play before an interpretation is given to a constitutional or statutory provisions. So you just don't look at in a very lay way and just assume that is it. That is why I said we can take it. We can go to court.
Now let me tell you something here.
And test it and seek for.
And I'm saying you don't need to go to court.
You need to go to.
Excuse me. In every law, right, there is an interpretation in the act. And that is why I said that when you look at the interpretation in the act, if they have given you a certain word, they'll give you the meaning of the word. If there is no word there, that is when you look for the dictionary meaning of the word. That is why, for instance, you realize that in the Office of the Special Prosecutors Act, they have defined corruption. So he's limited to that word corruption. They've not given him the overall broad corruption, like what the Attorney General has. They have defined the corruption, that is the cases he can do. So for his specific, he cannot do anything outside that. So they've defined it. That is what it is. And you go to every law, you see it stated there. Now let me tell you something here. In the law, when you go to the interpretation section, right, section 25, it says in this act, unless the context otherwise requires, accredited tertiary institution means a tertiary institution is accredited by the National Accreditation Board. Has a National Accreditation Board accredited any institution outside Ghana? The National Accreditation Board can only accredit schools in Ghana, and these are the only place your monies can go to. So if you are giving monies outside, it's wrong. Number two,
so let me go further.
Yes, when you go further, it says education. It's stated there. So the argument that was being raised, that is under the section 2D that they were using to make a case. It says that the educational activities for the promotion of education. It is whatever activities you want to expand money on must be for the promotion of education. Now the law comes down here and it says education means an approved basic school, second cycle school, or an accredited tertiary institution. This is it. So if they say that education means basic school, second cycle school, basic school, second cycle school, and accredited tertiary institution. And the accredited tertiary institution is also stated there in the law what it means. And it says bodies that have been accredited by the National Accreditation Board. So it is clear.
That is the first. That is the first one.
It's not the first one. It's all of it. It's all here. Okay. You can read it. So if it says that it must be geared towards education, the law has explained and defined what education is. He says basic school, second cycle school, and accredited institutions by the National Accreditation Board. So if you don't fall within this area, whatever course you are going to do is outside the law.
The jurisdiction.
Exactly. I mean, it's simple.
I appreciate what
I'll
you're
be very surprised, Madia, to some extent that the supporting students outside the country would not
fall under expanded education. Hold on. Let's move forward. My attitude to all of this is, let's be realistic. In our country, Ghana, in this specific instance, there's always what the law says. And then there's what we do on the ground. Now, that's how things are run here in Ghana. I have a contrary. No. We all live in Ghana.
I have a contrary view.
Practitioners and people who operate the system, they can explain to you why things on the ground are different from things in the book. And they can give you very good explanations.
They cannot give you
for me,
the law is the law. If you fail, you see, let me just give you an example.
Ama, no, but listen to this matter.
Let me you see, we've had something going on in this country. When a new government comes, it comes and sacks everybody. Then he brings his own people. The new government comes, so MPP government comes, they sack all NDC appointees. NDC comes, they sack all MPP appointees. This has been going on all these years.
Right from 1992.
When it started. But in 2017, somebody took the case to court. And the court ruled that that practice is against the spirit of the Constitution.
Absolutely.
So you see, so the point is this. The fact that you have been doing something and nobody has challenged it doesn't mean that what you are doing is right.
Hold on, Mr. Redu. Let's also look at it this way. Let's look at our organs of state.
Yes.
Organs of state. Give us me. Executive, legislature, and judiciary.
Now, the media too. No.
I mean, we are the fourth, you know.
By force,
in our books, in our books, there's supposed to be separation of powers. Where we don't overlap. However, in practice, you cannot operate a strict separation of powers with these institutions. They will have to overlap one with another. I'm making a point here. And my point is that sometimes there's what is, or there's what should be, and there's what is. Can we appreciate that this is one of those instances? And can we take the explanation from them, perhaps work with the explanation and perhaps look at our laws again to conform with the difficulties on the ground?
You see,
that's my.
You see, I'll tell you something here. It's just like the way the general public has been crying over Article 71 holders. Okay, that is what the law says. Okay, and that is why the parliamentarians and the politicians are milking the people of Ghana. Because every 4 years you'll get ex gratia. People work for 30 years and they go home without a CD. Right? Unfortunately, that is what the law says, and it is an entrenched provision in the Constitution. You can't just get up and then remove it. You get it? So even John Mahama, when John Mahama was president, he mentioned it, that something needs to be done about it because it's everybody realized that it's an unfair position. You get it? Nana Akufo-Addo came to office. John Mahama said it. Nothing happened for his 4 years and he left. Nana Akufo-Addo came to office. He said he's formed the committee to look at it. He's in his 4th year. Nothing is going to happen. You get it? But I will say the law says it. So you cannot say you can't pay. But not until the law is changed. So you must understand. So you must understand how it is. The fact that you have done something, nobody is challenging it. That doesn't make it right. If somebody wants to, the point you are making is what must be and what must not be. That's the point you are making.
No, the point I'm making is, and I share in what you're saying with this one about the ex gratia issue. We all agree as a people that this is wrong. However, because it's entrenched in our Constitution, we have to go by it.
Exactly.
In this instance, perhaps we all agree that what it is right. But in practice, that's not what we do. So in both instances, let's marry what's in our books to what's happening on the ground, is what I'm saying.
No, and I'm saying that is not it. If there is a law, let the law work. There is nothing like I'm doing some massage. No, this is what this is what
there are real challenges. So now, perhaps for me, would be a good time. Would be a good time to take a look at it. I want us to move forward.
Yeah, but it's better. No, you brought a very important discussion, and Mr. Edgar brought this issue of the Public Services Commission or people in public offices.
Yeah, public offices.
If they allow you, let us know the degree of the politician.
No, that's that process has been going on until it was challenged, and the court make a declaration, and that is it. So this issue that we are arguing over back and forth, and I think those things we have to test it. The law is in the book. Until you test the law, it will be in the book. I hope you are getting the argument. So, and because I'm saying this because I will be surprised. Right from the inception of the GeTFund, Ghana Education Trust Fund, scholarship has been given through there to needy and brilliant students and other peoples in the society. And that the law is saying is wrong. And this thing has continued up to this stage.
I thought it was great.
No, it is great, but it is great. What the law says.
That is why I am not different.
What the law says is that
it
is not GeTFund's duty to decide to give.
I mean, that's also pretty
That
clear.
is what. Give the money to scholarship secretariat.
That's also
I am
pretty
still
clear.
not.
Listen, he said, give the money to scholarship secretariat. Let
still not
scholarship
convinced.
secretariat decide on the needy how he will do it. It is not your job as GeTFund. GeTFund, you don't have any business in sponsoring anybody outside this country. The law is stated clear. He says what you are sponsoring is education, and it has explained what education means in the law. It says education is basic school, second cycle institution, and tertiary institution accredited board. A university or public what do you call university college, a teacher training college, it has stated all in the. So why would you sponsor somebody outside the country? The question of sponsoring somebody outside the country to learn is not a bad idea, but it is not your duty.
You don't
that
have
is
the money.
what you have to understand.
You don't have the money.
Yes,
Okay.
if you think that people
Let's
must go and
make
study oil and gas, you want people to go and study whatever technology, fine.
Channel it to the
Channel it through the right approach.
Right,
it is not your
right,
duty to go out there and give that. That is all.
Accepted. Let's move on.
Well,
Let's move on.
yeah.
Now let's talk about the greed of our politicians. Let's talk about the
greed.
greed of our politicians. And here I was going to mention names because
So
these names are already in the public domain. So let's go there. And I'm coming straight to you, Mujeeb. Let's look at all the wonderful names that have come up. Some people I really like. Matthew Opoku Pempe, Sarah Adjoa Safo, Prince Hamidu Ama. Oh, look at Ignatius Bafwewa. Kennedy, you're saying he's challenging it. Yeah. But his name has, I could go on and on and on. So many names, right? Some challenging, others coming with explanation and all of that. For me, the main issue, and we're saying this before we came on air, you were not here then, that it's the greed that is baffling, isn't it? For some of them, it wasn't just GeTFund. It was GeTFund, it was NHI, it was also the GNPC, everywhere. Now let's talk the specific instance of Sarah Adjoa Safo, Honorable, my MP, my personal MP. In her specific instance, she got scholarship from everywhere, from all these 3 institutions. And, for places like Harvard, for short courses, it is set here that I think 6 times or so, I think she contests the number. But, come on. Once is enough. And here, I would give her the benefit of the doubt and say that, for me, should perhaps fall under advancement of female education. Hopefully. Or also, the reduction of... No, she doesn't fall here. I'm trying to play the devil's advocate. I'm trying to make it seem less terrible than it is. Yeah. But whichever way you look at it, come on. Yeah. As a minister of state, as a member of parliament.
I want to look at it in 2 perspectives. You see, sometimes your individuals, you have certain principles and values that you go on as you grow and advance in life that guide every action of yours as you move on. That is very fundamental and very important to the individual, whoever the person is. But I think that I put myself in the situation, like my nature, everything. Maybe at certain stage, like if I can afford A and you are giving me A, I don't need it. I will even call for it.
I'll decline. Thank
Maybe
you.
there's another
I already
person
have it.
who will
Give it to
benefit
the
from
next
it. But I
person.
think that maybe it's the individual conviction and belief. Some too, there are certain people who are very parsimonious and very in society. No matter the situation, they still are looking for more. There's no point that they will not become. But that is not how society should be. If you want to go by the theories, then one day some people with their mind strength will just get up and kill all of us and take the resources of this country. And you also have to be very moderate sometimes. So I look at it, but Others will not even go for it. But for whatever reasons, maybe at this stage I'm able, I will go for it. But maybe some of these things benefited this currently in a very, very advantageous positions that they were not. If you look at the timing that some of these people got the scholarship. But I listened to the majority leader in parliament, and I must be very frank, when I listened to him, I wasn't happy, because it was a demeaning to the house that even to some extent some of these courses a member of parliament cannot afford the money to pay. At least we know it is not a business place or a place to go and look for money, but there are other opportunities. If you know how to manage yourself as an individual,
could this be one of those opportunities?
Yeah, you should be able to.
Could this be one of those opportunities?
Pardon?
Opportunity to further, you know, your.
No, I mean he was not. He was justifying why certain people should go for it. And if you mention the amount and he asked the journalist whether you think an MP can raise this amount. I hope you are getting there. So that was a justification to some of these things.
Let's look at it this way.
Yeah.
As an MP, could this be one of the privileges that comes with your position as a Minister of State? Is it possible that
when they are your constituents following you,
saying that when honey. I mean, who would shut their mouth?
anyway, but that is where we are. But I also want to look at it, they've benefited from it, and they are contributing brilliantly to the development of this country. So that is at the other side. One can also look at it.
The other side.
But that is why I started by saying
the politics of it.
That is the individual.
This is damning.
Yeah, but when you look at it, there are other people, my dear, who also benefited from it from the other side of it.
Let's look at this phrase. In our local politics, one very important phrase, greedy bastards.
Yeah.
Would this be a perfect example of,
they depend on the context you want to look at it. I don't think former President Roy said the greedy bastard referring to some of them, but but the anti is the individual. Is the individual.
You want to look at it from the individual?
Yeah, I look at it from the individual.
How about the party? I think this is damning for the MPP.
In what way is it damning for the MPP? Even if you look at the time, some of these people, I don't know the time, but some of them got the scholarship when the MPP was in opposition. I hope you get the argument. So how can you extend this to the party? I hope you are getting the argument. So my problem is we should be very strict in the implementation of the laws.
Go back to the law.
So they said needed but brilliant. And if you are not, maybe the committee who interviewed and looked at the situation of the applicants
decided
also have to blame, because you applied and they approved. So you can apply it, and if the approval is not given, then it means you are not considered. I hope you are getting. Then when you challenge, you want to say, but we look at your background circumstances, and you don't fall within the category, so we are sorry, we can't grant you scholarship to go and study, and that ends the matter.
Listen, when you read through these things, in some instances it falls under the jurisdiction of the Ministry of Education. Now if you have the Minister of Education himself,
but he was not the Minister of Education when
the cookie jar. That's problematic.
But was he I want to know the time frame. The time frame. He wasn't the minister, my dear. He wasn't the minister. So I think we can't link it. He wasn't the minister. He was a member of parliament. And he's still a member of parliament. He wasn't a minister
at the time.
At the time he benefited the scholarship for the. And as a Minister of Education, let's also give credit. Let's also give credit. Napo is doing extremely very well, improving
the free SHS. You don't want my comments on that one. You do not want my comments.
So with all this experience he has gained, and he's putting it to the.
You see,
what's the way forward?
It's not a question of way forward. You only get the way forward when we are able to plot.
Should they pay back?
Listen, as I said, as for the beneficiaries, you can't blame them. Every human being he would apply for something. It is up to the approving authority to say, I will give you or I wouldn't give you. So it is that approving authority. But you see, one of the things that is so sad is the fact that day in, day out, you hear health providers talking about the fact that they've not received their money, so they are not going to provide the normal service that they have to give under the NHIA. When NHIA, you get money, you say you are using it to sponsor people. what sense is in this? It's just like ECG. I recall at one time, ECG, you are struggling. You are not able to collect your money. We are having all kinds of power fluctuations and things. And when Black Stars were going to play the World Cup or something, you went and then gave them money. What kind of nonsense is that? You can't even take care of yourself. Who do you want to please? You get it? So it is those who are in charge that must deal. But one of the things you must know is that I don't get it. All these people, Napo and then Adwasafo, and then the other, I don't know. The question is, under what circumstances did they get those invitations? Did they get those invitations as members of parliament, or they got those invitations as individuals? Right? If they got those invitations as members of parliament, then it was a duty for parliament to make that sponsor. Right? If you got that invitation because you are an MP, right, then it's a duty of parliament to make sure that they sponsor them. But then if you get it as an individual, then it is your own headache. Then you want to go and apply for it. So we need to understand the circumstances. How did they get those invitations?
Is it possible that the institutions help themselves? Is it possible that they got those invitations as MPs, and then, you know, the somehow they thought to source funding that they know is available elsewhere?
And I'm saying
that's a conversation to be had.
And I'm saying that you cannot take care of what your core job is. NHIA, we heard over the radio that some Catholic missing or something, they are closing their hospitals because monies that are due them as far back as 2018 has not come. And I'm saying, if NHIA, you are there and you know you have such a duty, a big responsibility on your head, you are not paying the people, but you choose to use the monies that has been collected from every human being. Even when you buy what do you call it, sachet water, they'll tear you. When you buy whatever, they tear you. Everything you buy, they tear you. And you say you are going to give those monies to politicians to go. I mean, it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
I mean, we shouldn't entertain these things, right? As for applications, they will come. But for you to sit and say, no, this would not fall within our domain, we have X, Y, Z to deal with. You are not a philanthropic organization. For Christ's sake, you're not you are supposed to be taking care of the ordinary Ghanaian who goes to the hospital day in, day out. That one self you are not paying. You know, and you say you're going to do this. It's wrong. So their duty was to have told Adwa Safoda, Adwa, please, this area, we can't support you. Then let her carry her matter to another place. But the point I'm making here is that those invitations, because so far as I know, as for the invitations, or they come every day. Invitations come every day. If you want Parliament as a body, that's also, we need to understand this thing. Did the invitation come to Parliament as Parliament, or it came to them as individuals? And even if it did come to them as individuals, the question is that it came to them because they were MPs. Then it's the duty of Parliament to fund those. Yes, Parliament should fund them. But then you don't go outside that and then go and do this. You know? And if such is happening, or maybe you can go to the people who are milking us every day. These boys, this afternoon, they mess man's life up. MTN. Yes, they are milking the system, so you can go to MTN. It's MTN. I get some sponsor. You can sponsor. Yeah, they are milking us every day. This afternoon, within some hours, the network was bad. You couldn't do anything. And you know, these are some of the things that I talk about every day. And the regulator is sitting down. Instead of the regulator to have taken action against them for messing our lives up, the regulator is sitting down because at the end of the day, they will get their monies to chop. You see? But then you should have queried them and made sure that they come and give all of us some 5 gigabytes free for messing us up. That is the job of the regulator. I remember they did some couple of weeks back. And I got so mad, and the regulator was sitting down.
And this one, you wouldn't be sure as at now that maybe action is not taken.
What action? The MTN people came to apologize that yes, they are sorry for whatever happened, and they are giving us 2 GB. Then they gave us a condition that if you don't use that 2 GB before a certain time, they take away the 2 GB. You sit in this country and the regulator is there and allow this nonsense to happen. I mean, this country, I don't know. The same way, they've messed us up with this banking thing, and everybody says when somebody is sitting down, then yes, it goes on and go. All these people like they for sack them all, put them inside some prison or something. That is the job of the government. The government, your duty, your number one duty as a government is to protect the citizens. So in protecting the citizens, that is why you enact laws. And the laws are there to protect the genuine man. And that is why you have all these regulations and things in place. So if the one that you've put in charge is messing up, what use is he there? You've got to put them in prison.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with you, absolutely. But what's our way forward with this GeTFund issue? I mean, shouldn't be another talk shop where we talk, and then we move on.
Yeah. Well, the Auditor General, the way forward is the Auditor General says he's brought his report. Let the report go to Public Accounts Committee. And let's see how Public Accounts Committee
deals with the issue, because it's been contested. People are coming out to that. No, I did not access
benefit.
No, but that's one. But you see, that's one. I also have a problem with them. These names were given to the Auditor General. So if you have a problem, go to the source. Go to the GeTFund. And
if you did, you have not benefited.
Why would you give my name out? I don't see why you should be attacking the Auditor General. The Auditor General was sitting there. These documents were brought to him from the GeTFund.
It's even within the right of the Auditor General.
You see, so the question is that if you find your name, you should rather be interested in under what circumstances do you give my name to the Auditor General as having benefited, instead of making noise against the Auditor General. I don't get them. Somebody has given you go attack the person who gave your name out. But rather the one who has said that you see, the funny thing is this: they are not even seeing the best side of it all. The thing is that GeTFund says they gave you money. The Auditor General too has come to say that from his checks, you did not get any money. You not even thank the Auditor General for bringing that one that you did not even get money, but you are attacking him that he brought you. The one who says you have chopped money, you rather go and attack him. It's so interesting.
Very interesting. So we'll wrap up the conversation on GeTFund very nicely. Let's quickly move on to, I'm checking the time. No, that doesn't work, sorry. I'm quickly moving on to Sona. Should we take a break and drink some water and come back?
Only water.
What would you like to drink?
Oh, of course, I mean, there's something more like, and in the evenings like this, it's good to have a Henneken,
Okay, so we'll take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. Stay there.
It's incredible! Bang on target!
Hey, Bukuya. All the pressure to me to say, what tongue come from? You said the people there are not so young. They said when you are Joe, what to how soon? My nose and cover to me, Kaba. Ma, we are the men young with Drew and into the mamma tongue crab rose and brano. And I may be saying, Finn, Yago, because I'm mammy in my ship. Go fitch that. Why, yes, and I am a young. And as a woman who bow one, no good and a Makoti proving Kaya friend of Arababas tablets. So when you send me the banana. And until the number of my photos, I brought a tick. None, Arababas bet my way in our mammy. And ye me who saw. William, who your bataya woman will ban for, and now Quada winning fear do me and one. Won't come. Arababazen.
Honey, I'm home. I have a surprise.
You know what? Yeah, check that. I'm so feeling so low.
Hey, I'm so Nidia, obey my way in to a trap. When a mammy did my wedding, Mr. Q.
She say me a beman kasankasa.
Nichina me now, one casa. Ankasa.
What is it?
Aye, we backward and then it's strong enough. I could say or backward and one which
Mr. Wasimini, with your boy,
hey, I can't yard near more.
At Fonko Kulun Ghana Limited, our East Legon, a Champion Junction, for 0244 139 176.
Mr. Q, we are Cuba.
Don't touch each other.
Welcome back from the break. If you just joined in this evening, we are doing, having our heart talk conversations. As always, we just discussed the GeTFund, which was just supposed to be an introduction. Somehow, it's taking up all of the time. Now we are going into the soda. But before we do that, let me read just a few of the messages, that have come in. This one says, "Good evening, Ama. Pan-African TV is the most credible TV station. I wish everyone should watch. You people are doing a fantastic job. Keep it up. I love to watch you every day. I am Akakpo Ankra from Kaswa, Obum Road." Okay, so Akakpo, this is what we would do. Tell everybody to watch. You see, you want everybody to watch. When it's time, just go around the neighborhood knocking those. Hi, it's time. Let's go. So, thank you. I really appreciate your message. Please keep watching. Keep watching. This one says, "Please tell my honorable MPP communication team member to say the truth and stop roaming around the corner of the GeTFund." This is a message from I'll be inside where?
Majority leader.
Oh, Madina.
Inside Bamboy. Majority can be wrong in Parliament, he says. I like him. I think he's pretty objective for an MPP man to say that this is wrong. Let's say that it's wrong. Okay. This one says, "Ama, my worry is that why GeTFund and scholarship secretariats. Okay, my worry is why they should sponsor people to go outside Ghana just to go and do second degrees. I know some people who went outside the country for their second degree sponsored by GeTFund, and they did not come back.
But they will come.
GeTFund did not give a list of names, but they gave files to the Auditor General. He picked the names from the files. Okay, this one says, "Good evening. I'm really enjoying the conversation tonight. I don't really know what is wrong with our leaders. Upon receiving huge salaries and allowances, they still struggle with the poor on opportunities given to the poor. That really is the sad aspect of this issue. However, you did not tell us." Okay. I'm Joseph from Bole. Thank you, Joseph, for your message. Okay, so now let's talk Sona. Let's talk Sona. And of course, Galamsey. Let's start with Galamsey. Let me just read the highlights. It says, "Government will not weaken stance against Galamsey. Operation Vanguard has been largely successful. Alternative livelihood program for Galamseyers going on in 35 districts. 4,000 local miners trained in sustainable mining at UMAT. 20,000 Galamseyers supported into legal community mining, and that no illegal miner will be shielded from arrest or prosecution." My attitude is, let's start from within your quarters. Because hands have been directed directly straight into the MPP, into government. Why don't we start from there?
But can you mention specific names?
Oh, I can.
I don't know, because if you say MPP is a bigger,
I'm
MPP, but I don't engage. I don't engage in Galamsey. So,
you know the names that
but what we should be should be happy about is the commitment of the president, in spite of all these challenges, in his quest to get this Galamsey menace reduced, and. It's still, yes, and at a certain, he has taken bold decision. Recently, you hear the military has been withdrawn and the police have been placed under. And I think that we don't have to reduce the fight against Galamsey to partisan level. If we do that, we'll make the point. Look, the environment, the water, it doesn't care about whether you are NPP or NDC.
True.
I wouldn't just listen to me. Don't I wouldn't want to take the political aspect of it.
Don't mind my official expressions.
But I hope you are getting there. So we need to protect our environment. We need to protect our water bodies. Is it not important? So when the president came and decides, but you see, even here in Pan-Africa, not everybody, some you love some because of their hard work. You don't get, not all the staff work 100%.
No.
I hope you are getting there. You can't you can't get that. So when you have a system and there are other people, maybe you put in a very position of trying to help you succeed and just not following your steps. So what do you need to let them stay away, and then you put others to confront and succeed. So you look at the judge at the end of the day. So I think a lot of things has happened. And the president said it. It is not that you are getting the people, don't do galamsey. No. Let's do a responsible mining. Let's don't distract the environment. Let's don't pollute our water bodies. Because when you get the money, but it's still the same source of water that you come and drink. So if you pollute it and get the money, and you get sick, and you go to hospital and use your money to treat yourself, and you can't get the money to spend, what is the essence? So I think that is the very fundamental thing we should be looking. And based on that, as this fight still continue, but government has been training these miners, especially in the community mining model, and that is ongoing. And when you go to some other places, that is where people are mistaken that, oh, the galamsey mining is still going on. Fine, others still do it, but the responsible community mining is still, which is done with regulations, is also ongoing. But let's collectively help the president to succeed in this direction, because our life and our future is at stake. If we want to toe the political lines, you said this, NDC has done this, NPP has done, Nkosiaga. So, my dear, I beg, let's leave the politics aspect of it. The water, the source of the water, the Ghana Water Company is treating and serving us in the comfort of our homes and offices. We need to protect it. Now you see sometimes you see, you know, the dangers when you destroy the forest. When the last tree dies, the last man dies. So we need to protect all this. I want my people to be gainfully employed, but they should do it productively and don't endanger the life of people who are not into it. So it's a collective fault, and I thank and believe the president that he will relent on this fight. So the media, individual, civil society get involved, NDC get involved, PNC is about the future of this country and not the future of MPP. Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, 2 weeks ago, I had the honorable, goodness, I can't believe myself. Well, I had the honorable
Aziz.
No, not Aziz. Oh, my
MP
daddy.
for where?
Tamale Central.
Sama Central. Inusabseni.
Yes.
Inusabseni,
The Honorable Inusabseni and Dr. Adumakukisi here to speak to this galamsey issue. Yeah. And both of them agreed that it wasn't about politics and it wasn't about, it wasn't the way it had been reported. They both agreed that it was getting issues wrong from the start. That the approach the MPP used was wrong. So it was more of issues of making systematic mistakes over time and not a deliberate, because I was of the opinion that we had been shortchanged as Ghanaians, that we had been deceived. That the president has said this far from it, when he actually intended to do, he has said A when he intended to do Z. But both of them said they didn't think so, but it was more the president has a very clear making mistakes. Or the system making mistakes with the implementation. Now, is that forgivable, Mr. Redu?
But I think, let me conclude here.
Is it okay to make mistakes with this? Is it okay?
No, but you see, the problem is, in recent time, the seizure of these excavators and the missing of some of these excavators. It is not only the excavators. I ask myself, when you are going to the field and the law is seized, when you seize the the equipment, what next? So the point, what government need to do with the equipment should have also been in place. So we put this equipment, we give you 3 or 4 months. Come and assess, provide all the necessary documentation, and we release your your machine to you. And the seizure of this machine was also for evidence for wrongdoing.
The system you had in place did not work.
Yeah. But that is so.
Did not
it's
work.
Unfortunate it did not work. But largely, and I think that now it will be a different story altogether. But I wish that even the country need the excavators. Look at the district assemble. When you go around Ama, we have filthy refuge dams, gutters, and other. We can use these excavators to good use and clean our environment. So distribute it to the district assemble, and we'll put it in good use. And now it's better than somewhere burning the machines and the excavator. No, we don't have to go to that direction. And I don't support the idea you seize 200 excavators and 100 is missing. Were you not taking inventory? Who is in charge of keeping the machines? Then if you are you were one and your machine is seized and is being given to, it should be recorded.
Absolutely.
That it will seize on this number, this date, at this particular site, and it's been given back to you. So what is the problem? So people, unfortunately, took advantage. And that did not it did not help their cause. But I'm happy it came out that, and government has put a lot of measures in place to check this. So
hopefully those measures work. Let's bring in Mr.
Hopefully it will work. 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 It will work.
What did you say? Terrible mistake.
It will work.
You know what? I have maintained the position that under no circumstance should we have ever tampered with the soil to go and then dig whatever minerals that are there.
In the first place. So you are taking us all the way back into history.
Yes, we shouldn't have even done it. You get it? You see, when you look at a rocky place, rocks, a rocky place, a place that has been bombed, Hiroshima. You talk about Japan. They don't have an ounce of a single mineral. Not an ounce of a single mineral. But where are they today? There are so many countries that do not have an ounce of a mineral, but they are far ahead of us. Then it tells you you have no business touching it. If you lack thinking, if you cannot use your brains, then forget it. Ghana, what is the size of Ghana? You know, at times, China, how many times can Ghana go into China? Bibli. China is the world's #1 in terms of gold. China. But go and see whether they have done what we've done here. Go and see if you see some there. You can't do that in China. China, they'll just take some small portion for the year, and then they'll give it to the jewelry shops to do the ornaments, rings, blah. They don't do that kind of thing that we're doing. Australia has more gold than us. Go and see what they do. The US of A, they have more gold. Indonesia, Peru, South Africa, what have you? They have more gold than you, Ghana. Ghana, your small country. And see the way you are destroying it. We're sitting here, and WHO has said that by the year 2025, we won't get water to drink in this country. Sit down and wait. WHO has said this. Someone would have thought that by now, water resources and those other bodies would have started putting something in place. When you go to the US, even though at times the US, Russia, Saudi, they rotate. At one time, the US becomes the world's biggest producer of oil. At times, you see Russia taking, at times, Saudi. Even there, they have a whole city that they've stored crude under. A whole city, crude has been stored under. We are sitting here, we've been told by the year 2025, we won't get water to drink. And when we get up, all we are interested in NDC, MPP, NDC, MPP. Akufo-Addo has gone to say this. John Mahama said this. Then they say Galamsey. They say Airbus. They say auditor. This is all we are interested in. Let's wait. When that day comes, then you see. This small, I shouldn't use the word small, but this coronavirus that has come.
No, that is not small.
That's what I'm saying. You wait and see. Very soon, we shall be short of toiletry in this country. Very soon, toilet paper will short in this country. You wait and see.
The economic implications are dire.
You see? You wait. But all your tea is coming from China. You wait and see. Very soon, toilet paper stuff will be a problem in this country. Diapers, what have you. Like I keep saying, this thing. Even needle that when your bottom tier, you see, your bottom tier, you see.
It has serious economic
implications. You see, we sit in this country, right? Look, I was looking at I was reading a document about 2 days ago, the innovative economies in the world. My God. And when you see things, the kind of monies they put into research and development, the way they look at their tertiary system, the kind of technology, and you can go on to then check for it, the innovative economies in this world. And you want to see the way their GDPs are, climbing up and all that, And we sit here and then what we are interested in is somebody who call and insult NDC, somebody who call and insult MPP. And that is, you wait, 2025. We are sitting here and we'll see where we'll get water to drink. Coronavirus, if they come. T-roll, it's not their price. The toilet roll, if the short can be that. Diapers is shorting. All other things
into my area.
All other things are going to show, and you will see that I just say something here. I asked myself, in 2017, we hailed some school as the best in this country when they went to do the National Science and Maths quiz. We hailed them. When they went outside, they chopped last. And it was a clear indication that our educational system was nothing to write home about. Ask yourself, till date, from that time, what have we done? It is still the same old system that we use it. Where would we go as a nation? Today, look at the whole, it's so, at times, it's sad when you drive through some of these mining areas and you see what has happened to, just because of what? You see them and you ask, hey, vegetations have all turned into something. And I don't get it. So far as so many countries are living in big time today, and none of them had a single ounce of mineral to be where they are, then we got no business digging those soil.
Absolutely not.
We have no business. And we have dug and dug the soil, still we are retrogressing.
Absolutely.
It is not like as if what we have done, it is making us go anywhere. We are still going down. So there's no business.
Absolutely not. Let me bring in the viewers at this point quickly, because unfortunately, we only tackled one issue.
No, but the issues are very important.
Let's look at this one. Says Mujeeb should know that the course Napo took has got nothing to do with his field as a doctor or the president's position he occupies from. CSYI. How do you pronounce that?
CS.
That's a pronunciation.
Okay. This one is laughing. Ha 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 ha. Ama. This MPP man is funny. When the appointees of his government are busy doing galamsey to fund their party, we are not just serious as a country. 63 years as a county, and we have nothing to show for it. I'm Anthony from Sakumono. This one says, Yamwa from Elubu, please tell Mr. Edger Wiredu that I have named my son after him. Please do him the honor to bless my son, Edgar Yamwa, to also possess the terabytes of knowledge that he has. Please go ahead and bless Edgar Yamwa, please. Quickly, then we can go ahead.
I bless him.
I hope that works for you. If it doesn't, I'll get him to do again. So send me a message. Let's see. Okay, this one says, hi, I'm Joseph from Kumasi. I want to Kumase, I want to please know when GeTFund will be accepting applications for those who want to do their masters abroad this year. He wants to send his application. Listen, they have to fund.
Unfortunately, none of us works at GeTFund, so
because we said this earlier, right?
Yeah.
We are spreading education. We really fall under the mandate of GeTFund. Okay.
You are promoting education, so they should come and sponsor you.
Yes.
Nice
The couch
one.
needs sponsorship. Okay. This one says, Ama, last week I passed on the Ankobra River and the water was clean, but River Pra is just like cuckoo. It's just really sad. Okay. This one says, developments will remain a lacuna in as much as the public institutions are being driven by such messed up political animals. His name is, he says, regards to GM and Hajia Umu Wa Central incoming MP. His name is Naba Roof in Wa Digna Furu.
And then the Furu.
Thank you. Okay, this one says, good evening to you, Ama, and to your panelists. It's very simple. Students' loan is for the poor. It's for poor Ghanaians, which they pay interest on. My brother is a victim after school, no job, almost 6 years now. Now the money and the interest is almost 6,000 Ghana cedis. The rich rather go for GeTFund without any interest. God have mercy on us. Oh, Mother Ghana is bleeding. His name is Eric from Oti region. Eric, I'm sorry to hear about your brother. Really sorry to hear about your brother. Anyway, our time is up.
Yeah, but Uncle, it raised a very important issue, and I felt I will get the time. I think our educational system need to be looked at very seriously because there's a gap. And I think that how many years now after independent Ahmadiyya, but where did we go? And it is because of some of these guys are leaving school without being trained what to do. Then at certain point when they stop, they have no place than to end up in doing the galamsey. But I wish that when the system was changed to this junior high school, you know, when we started, they bring these small tools. And there was a time you go out and do practicals to be carpenter or metal work or something like that. I think that would have been the best
Let's
area.
not have a conversation. Can we come back and have this
The best
let me just say this little thing. I just said one thing.
Yeah.
If you go to China now, you will not see what the Chinese are doing in this country. So if we Ghanaians cannot think, then that is our own problem.
That is our problem.
Yes, because they cannot do what they are doing here in their country. So why should we allow them?
I mean, very interesting conversation, and especially, you know, when you think that tomorrow is another Independence
When
Day.
they give the chief
you know,
man,
what
they
does
say
this
they should go
independence
and do
mean for
it.
us? What does it mean, you know, for us? What does it mean for you specifically? I want you to think about that today, so that next time you want to do NDC, NPP, you have everything. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sending your messages. Justice Up Here is up next with coaches. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.